Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. For the next couple of weeks I'm going to concentrate on using different folds and different ways to make a card rather than actual stamp sets. And a couple of weeks ago I made this very simple fold and it was really well received on my YouTube channel, and a lady wrote to me and said that she really loved this because it was easy. She could use any kind of paper and she didn't have to design a card. The fold was already sorted. All she had to do was find paper and sort of images and things. And I was talking to the lady later and she said sometimes she's got all the stamps, she's got all the paper, but she doesn't know which folds to use. And she spends a long time sort of folding card, trying this, trying that. And in the end, she gets a little bit frustrated because she's got lots of card all folded, but she hasn't got a card actually made. So I thought for the next 2 weeks, if I concentrated on simple folds and tried to keep my videos to about 15 minutes, it would be quick and easy, and it's the kind of template that you can keep. So today's card is a simple window fold. Now, I've used the Sailing Home set of stamps and the High Tide stamps, but I want to show you how this simple fold can make a really nice card. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to make it. Now, to start with, I've got my basic card fold. This is just a piece of card, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded in half. And that's how most of our cards start. Then I've cut a piece of white card for the inside, and this is cut just 1/4 inch smaller all the way around, so it's 4 inches across and 5 1/4 long, and that will fit just on there for the inside. Now I've also cut a different size card just so that we can tweak the card a little bit and show you a different way. And this piece of white card is cut at 8 inches by 5 inches, and I've scored it at 4 inches, so it's going to form like its own little card that fits inside. Okay, so let me show you how we make the window. I've got the layering squares set, and I think this is the easiest way to make them. You could use a rectangle, you could use a circle, you could use the squares, you could even use the nested frames that have come out. And what I did was I looked through all of the shapes and I found the size of the scallop that I wanted. And then I found a size for the square that fitted inside and sort of nested in there. If you wanted a wider border, you just choose a smaller square. So that, can you see, you've got a wider border between the scallop and the cutting edge. But I found the 2 that I wanted, and there's no right or wrong size, you just get the 2 that you want, and I put them together, and on a piece of Night of Navy, I put them onto the Night of Navy. Oops. I made sure that they were flat and that they were just all measured up right. I popped it through the big shot, and I did put it on an angle so that just a corner of it went through first. If you put it through the big shot and it's the whole of this side, it tends to not really like it. And sometimes, I know on my big shot, if I've done it that way, it seems to jump and it doesn't roll through smoothly. So I just put the piece of card like that, and it takes one little corner and then it goes through perfectly. So when you've put that through, you end up with this, a little square in the middle that we're going to take out. Keep these. You don't need them for the card, but they're really great for backing sentiments and things on other cards. And then you have this small frame, and that's the frame we're going to use on the front of the card. And then what you need to do is to take just the square, the same one that we've used, just the square, and put it onto your front of your card. See where you've got the fold here, you're going to put it on the front and make sure that it's centered so that you've got the same from the fold to the edge of the die as the edge of the card to the edge of the die. It doesn't matter if you have it in the middle, if you have it nearer the top. I like mine sort of in the middle here, but just higher at the top. And then pop that through the big shot and you will be left with a piece that looks like this. Now let me just cover a little piece up. Okay, so your piece is going to look like this. Then what I did was I chose one of the sentiments and I chose the "You Are My True North," and I just stamped it underneath here. And that's all the stamping that you need to do for the front. For my first card, you'll see that I chose the thanks. But this time I've got "You Are My True North." And that's the front of our card done. So we can fold that and we know that we don't have to do any more stamping on there. Now to do the inside, if you're going to do just the flat piece and glue it down, you can glue that down if you want, or you can wait and glue it down after you've stamped. But just put it in there, close the front, and then with a pencil, just draw the corners in. Or if it's a circle, just draw some points on the circle so you know roughly where your window is. Okay? And then you know that that's the piece that your picture's going to go on. So you'll have your sea here. Look at my brilliant drawing. Your boat here, and we're going to put some birds on. Okay, and that's the piece that people will see. But for me, I'm going to do this one. So this is the piece that we cut at 8 by 5, folded at 4, and it's going to fit just here, right up to the middle. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw my little square so I know where I can stamp. Okay. And I'm not going to keep it folded while I stamp, because sometimes I find that it sort of slips a little bit. So I'm going to have it flat. And from the High Tide set, I'm going to use this little piece of sea. I'm not going to have lots of different colours on my card. I'm only going to stamp with the Balmy Blue, which is the base colour for my card, and the Night of Navy, which is the little window for my card. And that way, I think it looks just a little bit smarter. I think it looks nice. So there we go. Let's find, here's the sea piece. Now I want to keep most of my stamping inside that square. Doesn't matter if it goes off a little bit at the sides, as long as my main image is in the middle here. So with this little bit of the sea, I'm just going to stamp at the bottom of my square. And I know that some of it will be outside the box, but that's okay. That's how I want it to look. Let's just clean that one off. And that's the only thing I need the Balmy Blue for. Next, I've got my Night of Navy. And I've chosen the big yacht here for the outside and the small yacht for the inside. So I've got my big yacht already mounted. Okay. Ooh, listen at that thunder and lightning. It's Stampede this week in Calgary, and we always seem to have rainy, thundery weather for Stampede afternoons. And the black cloud is certainly over towards Calgary right now. Hopefully I can get this finished before it starts to rain. I want most of my yacht to be inside this square. I don't mind that my boat itself is going to be in the sea though. Okay, let's clean that one because we don't actually need that one again either. And then my little birds, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to ink them up and I'm going to put them to the left-hand side of this square so I can just see them. There. Okay. Now I do want to stamp a little bit on this bottom corner as well, so I'm just going to turn this over and get the smaller yacht And my Night of Navy is a new pad and it's very, very juicy, so it just takes a little while to dry. I'm trying to stamp quite lightly with it so that I don't get too much ink everywhere. Now on my first card you can see that I coloured the boat in and I used my blends, and what I forgot about was that it bleeds through. So you can see I've got ink bleeding through here, which is not how I wanted it to be at all. If that was a piece that we were sticking straight down, it wouldn't matter. I could use my blends knowing that it might bleed through the white, but you wouldn't be able to see that. If you wanted to colour on here and you don't want to use the blends, you could use your aqua painter, and I think that's what I'll do right now. Ooh. There's a lot of water in there. Not quite what I wanted. Okay, so I'm just going to dry that off because I don't really want a lot of water. And I'm going to use the Night of Navy. I'm just going to dip my aqua painter in and then colour the bottom of the boat in. And that way you won't see the little blue waves looking through. And it doesn't bleed through. Let's just wipe that dry, and I'm just going to get one of the browns. Let's have a look. Let's just do the soft suede. Again, I'm not putting any water through my aqua painter, just putting the tip onto the ink pad. If it's going to glue down, as I said, the blends are just fine, but I don't want to see the blend going through. There. Let's close this up. And then to get rid of these little pencil marks, just use an eraser. I usually have my plastic eraser with me, but I've only got my mono eraser, and it isn't really the right eraser for this, so I'm only going to go quite lightly. So I don't want to take the top of the card off. And probably when I've finished filming, I'll go and find my plastic eraser, and I can just go over and get the rest of that off. And see how it sounds like it's scratching the paper? It's because really it's an ink eraser and not one for pencils. And I don't think my little adhesive eraser will work. No, it won't. So once I've finished filming, I will go and get my plastic eraser and just erase the rest of the pencil lines. Okay, so that should be dry enough now to put on the inside of our card. So here we are again with the outside, and this piece I'm going to butt the folded edge up to the middle and attach it like that. So I'm just going to put glue on the back. I'll use my fast fuse because it is just starting to rain now, so I need to be fairly fast. And I usually put the card this way around so that I can see the centre and make sure I've got the same on the left and the right here, which will go back to being the top and the bottom. Okay. And I could just go over that with my bone folder, but my bone folder isn't here. There we are. Okay, so now we just need to attach the little frame that we made, and I'm going to do that with the liquid glue. The liquid glue gives me just a little bit of wiggle room so that when I'm putting this on, if I haven't got it quite straight, I can just move it along a little bit. it shouldn't be too difficult to attach because you've got the little guideline there of where the opening is. And now to decorate it, what you could do is you could add embellishments. You could pop little embellishments on. Where you're doing your sentiment, you could do that on a little piece of white card, flag the ends. I'm going to put baker's twine on mine, but you could put a little piece of baker's twine and pop the anchor on. Let's see if we can get that through there. And tie a little knot through it. So it would hang sort of like this with a little knot on. But I want my baker's twine to go round it. So I'm going to make sure my baker's twine goes through the middle. And I don't want a fancy bow on it this time. So I'm just going to do a reef knot. That left over right. It goes left over right and under. And then this piece in your right hand, right over left and under. And that makes a nice flat knot. And it's still got some texture to it, but it's not a fancy bow. And trim the ends off. And there we are. That's a simple window card where you've made the aperture, made a little window frame, and you've either got your card glued down as one piece or you've made it as like another little card so that it opens. If you wanted as well, instead of gluing it to this side, you could glue it to this side so that, let me show you on this one, so that it would open that way. And it's difficult to see when I've got all these. So you would open your card and then open this piece. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll give the template a try. And remember, it's a simple card. It doesn't need much decorating because your focus is going to be this little frame here and whatever picture or image you stamp here. So thanks very much indeed for watching, everybody. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.